on the spot. My name is Patrick Amara, and my guest tonight is Honorable Richard Todwong. You are the acting Secretary General of the party, is that right?
I need to make the record clear. I am not the acting Secretary General of the party. The chairman of the party made it clear that the Secretary General is still the Secretary General until otherwise. Okay? I am a minister for political mobilization. And at the moment, I am helping the party secretariat to coordinate activities at the secretariat, but not to assume such responsibilities, because those who are elected in such positions are there.
Now, there are those who have described the former Prime Minister as a meticulous man with high organizational skills and a planner of some kind. Really, to put such an individual away. In fact, my colleague Timothy Kaligira called him like the Android system, the operating system of the NRM. Really, are you not at a loss to have such a man away? Because your party, most people would say in this town, is one and the same as the government. What was making him strong as Secretary General of the party was because of the office of the Prime Minister.
You see, you'll take me around to what I told you earlier on. When we have a system, when there is a system, an individual does not work alone. You become effective with the people around you. You become effective with other handlers. You become effective with those who support your work. If you as an individual, you can do all that thing alone, then definitely you would say an individual is stronger than the system that he operates in. So at the moment, we cannot say an individual is much more effective when he or she is handling all these things alone. The party is big. The membership of NRM is close to almost 20 million people. Uganda population projection is close to, according to the previous census, we're about 36 million something people.
So you're counting even the children, the under 16? And
we registered people.
That's why how do you reach 20 million people?
Hold on. We registered members who were 16 years by that time when we were registering. Now they're about 18. I'm sure by the time we go for the next election, they'll be 18, okay? Our registration, when you look at the party registration that we did, we registered members from 18 and above, and those who are between 16 and 18.
It is not possible to have 20 million registered supporters of the NRM in a population of 36 million people.
That is what NRM stands for, and that is what gives the NRM the mandate. You can test it from the population we have in parliament, the percentage of leadership we have in parliament, the percentage of district chairpersons around the country, the percentage of the councillors in the district, then the percentage of the sub-county chairperson, then it can give you the test of what I'm talking about. There are parties that even fail to raise candidates to contest for LC5 chairman. There are parties that fail to raise candidates in constituencies. But NRM party had candidates in all these areas, and people contested in the primaries heavily. And that gives you the magnitude. You're a
political scientist. Your fellow political scientists say what you're serving is actually not a party.
What is it then? It's called a what?
It's a state.
No.
State resources.
You see.
The party and the state are one and the same. In fact, they give an example. We're registering some people. Somewhere in West Nile, somebody found a Gombora internal security officer who was in charge of registering people. That is not his job. He's supposed to be keeping security of that Gombora.
The party has structures up to the village level. From the national, district, constituencies, sub-counties, parishes, villages.
Honorable Richard Todwong, they have fused into each other, the party
yes, I'm coming
and the
to that.
state.
I'm coming to that. The party has structures. The state has also its own structure. Okay? Now, the constitution and the multi-party political dispensation, I was a member of the Constitution Review Commission, chaired by Professor Sempebo. When we were introducing multi-party political dispensation in Uganda, the discussion then was a party that wins election takes over government and the state. So the state and the party are not separable. The chairman of the party is the president, just like in other party. Okay? Here we elect the chairman of the party, who is the presidential flag bearer in the party, becomes the president and presides over the state with all its organs. Members of parliament who contest...
Have you not been listening to members of the opposition and the civil society who are calling for political reforms? In fact, so that there is clear separation of how you can use party resources and state resources. This has been one of their biggest issues.
Politically, Patrick, there will never be separation between manpower running the party and manpower running the state, because it comes from the party to the state. You cannot have the party independent of the state, because the party that wins the election is the party that presides over the state structures. So you can have an independent. Yes, independence can come in resource mobilization and resource utilization, because the state... hold on.
Resource
the state
is key.
Hold on. Financial resource.
Yes.
The state derives its operational capacity through revenue and tax collection. The parties derive their resource utilization and capacity through donations, membership contributions, and fundraising, which are detached from the state. Now, these two are separate, but the manpower are fused. That is why you see the president is the chairman of the party, the president is the head of state. Members of parliament who contest on party tickets are in parliament. Members of parliament are appointed ministers to work with the state. And it goes on and on up to the lower level. So for you to say, separate the state from the parties, in short, you're saying we don't need political parties to participate in the state activities.
Honorable Richard Todwong, I don't know whether you have realized that everyone who has moved out of the NRM party and has been either fired or he has resigned, apart from maybe Honorable Mbabazi, each one of them has talked ill of the party.
What else can you say when there is a divorce? When there is a divorce, what else do you say? They are only, they are only good-mannered people who really respect the organization that build them to the level where they have reached.
Of course, when there's a divorce, I expect an expose.
There is a wise man.
What they are giving us is an expose of what is inside.
There is a wise man who said
even you, Honorable Richard, with all respect, if you moved away, probably you'd be talking a different story.
Not really. It depends on the ground. It depends on the ground of disagreement. Depends on the ground. If my constant line of disagreement is on principle, then I'll move out and continue my line. But if my principal line of disagreement are other issues, then definitely I will not lam it up with my personal issues, and I need to respect certain decisions that people make. I am not the alpha and the omega of an organization. When the organization finds I'm no longer useful enough for it, and I part ways with the organization, I respect that organization for having accorded me time to serve up to the level that I parted with. That is exactly what the Right Honorable Mbabazi said.
Doesn't it give you some
He,
insight?
in his letter, recognized that and even appreciated the president and thanked
That's
the
why
president.
I'm saying that he only stands out, and we need to see whether that will continue. But when you go back in history, right from Mr. David Pulkol, Dr. Kiza Besije, people like James Kazora, people like Honorable Miriam Matembe, whoever has moved out, they have given us an expose of what is happening. Doesn't that give you an insight of where you are really?
But every organization has issues. Every home has issues. Okay? Even in the Bible, you remember the story of the prodigal son. You cannot go away and start insulting everybody, and then you become funny, and people laugh at you. Even in heaven, there were conflicts. That was how Lucifer was thrown down to earth, and Jesus remained in heaven, and the angels remain in heaven. And we are now here gambling with the devils, demons, and running around. So in every organization, there are issues, there are tensions, there are style of management, attitudes, there are organization principles, the policies, how people handle this are different. And that can bring friction, dynamics. Now, these frictions and dynamics in an organization, it is not a one-size-fits-all. Others might not feel good for it. Others would feel it should have. Like now, some of these names you have mentioned, okay? Others would want the party to run as it were in 1986. But over the years, the party has grown. New members have come on board. The party has conquered new areas. New interests have come in the party. The party is adjusting its policies to incorporate all these groups. But those groups were saying, no. You have deviated from the reason we fought. And to me, that was not really serious enough to some of them. When the party is opening up, when the party is growing, a revolution has to see generations of people coming in and leaving. And when a revolution becomes static with the old ideas,
so you have not seen where that revolution is static.
At the moment, it's moving. It's opening up. It's dynamic. It's transforming.
You can't see that at the apex it is static.
It's transforming.
There have been more than 200 cabinet ministers in NRM government. There have been more than maybe 9 prime ministers.
That tells you
there have been more than 5 vice presidents.
That confirms.
There have been more than hundreds of presidential advisors.
That confirms the dynamic.
At the apex, it is.
That confirms
static,
the dynamic.
isn't it?
Now, at the apex, at the top,
yes,
it is like that because members of the party, members of the revolution, would want the chairman to be there. He is not there by his own mandate. He is there by the mandate of the members of the organization.
Not by manipulation.
No. We elect him every time. He's coming to Nambole. We are going to elect him again. We have already mobilized for him. Members are still supporting his leadership. So it is not that he's there because he wants to be there. No. Members of the organization still needs him there.
Now that you have talking about Nambole, if Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi, former Prime Minister, seeks the flag bearer seat during the ruling party delegates conference, will he be allowed to contest?
Oh yes, he will be. Freely to contest. He will campaign, he will run around, carry his posters, placards, banners, he will present his manifesto to the members, then the members will decide. Just like all of us, when we want to contest, we shall go to our constituencies, we run for the primaries, you convince the members of the party to either support you or they don't support you.
Well, so we want to see like what happened in Kyankwanzi, where everybody is shouting Sol Kanded.
That depends on how now we see things as members of the party. If the majority members, you see, democracy is about majority. We don't rule out minority being there. But when the majority are saying this is what we want, we go by it. And as a loyal member of an organization, you need to listen to the majority voice.
How do you, as a party, plan to contain the popularity of this individual, which seems to be soaring every day?
No, the president's popularity is a standalone. It speaks by itself, and you don't even need to do much. I'm telling you, when the president, the man stands, his qualities, his characters, and his traits are well written on each and everybody's face. So you don't need to even to convince people much. Everybody knows something about the president, what he can do and what he cannot do. So you don't need even to convince people much. Over the years, people have developed trust in him. Over the years, he has lived his words. Over the years, Uganda has transformed. Over the years, he has unified this country. I'm sure you know the past how Uganda was divided and all this kind of thing. For the first time in the history of Uganda, we are seeing a united Uganda and a peaceful Uganda from Karamoja to Kisoro, from Bundibujo to whatever part of the country. And that is what makes people love him even more.
But that's not in Nwano, in Moyo.
No, internally, but the one in Moyo, you know the reason. Okay, like we have issues in with the Kenya over the other island, Bujingo Island. We have issues with the DRC Congo over that island on Lake Albert. We have issues with South Sudan in Koboko, in Moyo, in Yumbe, in Kitgum, in Lamuo. Those are issues that are traditionally.
So we are bad neighbors. That's what you're saying. We have an issue with
maybe we have bad neighbors. We are not necessarily bad neighbors. We have bad neighbors because they are encroaching onto our land.
Every neighbor has an issue with us. That shows we are bad neighbors.
No, we have never gone out there to claim what doesn't belong to us.
Somebody was actually even killed on that island in Lake Albert called Rukwanzi.
Yeah, Rukwanzi.
In Vura, somewhere around West Nile, there's an issue. We have seen near Kajikeji there in Nwano. There's an issue.
See, the killing is an act of aggression from our neighbors. We don't go there to attack them. We go there to occupy what belongs to us, and we are attacked by them. And that is something which is not good. But internally, we have seen peace all this time. At the beginning of the government, of course, there were insurgencies all over around. in Teso, in Lango, in Acholi, that you know, in West Nile, in Rwenzori, in Buganda here. But all these, over the years, Ugandans have worked with the president and the armed forces, and we have...
Really? You are a student of political science. The absence of conflict does not mean there's peace.
I know. But the absence of conflict is a step towards peace.
Underneath, something is smearing. You could not have...
The absence of conflict
you could
is
not
a
have,
step.
You could not have seen what happened in the Rwenzori.
The absence
where
of...
within one day,
the absence
that shows you that underneath, something could be bad.
Rwenzori has a package
We just woke up to a horror.
Rwenzori has a
but
package
on the eve
of
of that day, it was peaceful.
Yes. And
you could just go back to the Buganda riots. We woke up to another horror.
Would you rightfully say, when such riotings were happening, there was peace? Would you rightfully say anybody would go there to negotiate peace when people are rioting? So the absence of conflict is a step towards peace. That's what I'm saying. You build on that to make a permanent peace.
We're going to take a break, Honorable Richard Todwong. When we come back, let's touch on the issue of succession, and I'll open the lines so that if you too, who is watching this show tonight, you can ask or make a comment that can help building Uganda. We'll be right back.